Alright, so I did a thing. No, probably shouldn't have. Um, but Fug it. That was with a G. Alright, so I bought some boots. Yes, bought them. I didn't get these for free. I'm not one of those lucky people that has tons of followers, so I get free boots and stuff. But yeah, if you can't tell what that is, we're about to get into it. Oh god, I don't know why this is so hard off camera. Okay, so sure, if you aren't living under a rock, you've probably seen these a billion times now: commercials, Facebook posts, sponsored posts, all that kind of crap. The Brunt work boots. This is the soft toe Marin. And you might also be asking yourself, well, why are you even doing a video? You ain't even worn them yet. Because I want to do something that I haven't seen. Now, just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But I haven't personally seen anybody do this yet. I've seen unboxing videos, and then I've seen reviews, and most of the reviews I've seen are only like a couple weeks old. So what I wanted to do with my own experience, because I'm hopefully starting a new job in a couple weeks. It's a warehouse gig, and I'm gonna be on my feet for 12 to 15 hours a day. I wanted a good overall boot for working on hard concrete all day. That's why I didn't get steel toes, because I'm not a fan. Even when I did construction, I didn't wear steel toes. Um, but yeah, this is the style I went with. It's the lined waterproof version. So getting to the point of the video, because this isn't an unboxing. I wanted to make a before and after video. Um, because I wanted to give my thoughts of what I thought about the boot in the beginning, untouched, unworn, unbroken in, as far as the quality and whatnot. But then I also wanted to see if you guys had any questions, so you could leave them in the comments while I'm trying these boots out. Because one of the things that I've noticed with other people's videos is people will wear them a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, make their video of what they thought, and that'll be the last you've seen or heard from them. I, on the other hand, want to make this video letting you guys know that I have these boots, that I'm currently wearing these boots. So you can go ahead and comment in the comment section while I'm wearing the boots, and then I can give you up-to-date assessments in the comments. And then once I've worn them for 6, 8 weeks or whatever, then I'll make a follow-up video of what I think once they've been broken in and worn a while. Because the issue I have with a lot of people's reviews, they don't really tell you a lot. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be like, oh, this is the boot, looks cool. And then 3 weeks later, it's like the same boot but dirty. And it's like, yeah, these are good boots, buy them. And then that's basically all you know. So yeah, if you've been interested in these boots because you've seen them all over the internet and you're just kind of like, I'm curious, but I've heard people say they suck, or I've heard people say they're good, I don't know what to believe, they're kind of cheap, blah, blah, blah. You can go ahead and ask me, like, hey, are they actually comfortable? And I could be like, yeah, I'm currently wearing them at work. They're good. You know what I mean? Um, Stuff like that. Or, hey, how long have you been wearing them? Are they still holding up? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I can actively be telling you what's going on instead of just you hope, if that makes any sense. So, getting into the overall thoughts, I will be 110% honest. Again, I bought these, so I can be biased or unbiased or whatever you want to call it. I don't have any reason to lie in this video. They're not going to send me any boots if I do a good job. But yeah, hearing what I've heard, they're a lot better quality than I was expecting. I'll be honest. From the when you go online and you look up Brunt boots, you're gonna come across two things: people that really love Brunt and people that really hate Brunt. There's no in between. Okay? Um, it's very one way or the other. Before somebody jumps me, I have kids, so don't fuss about my nails. I got daughters, okay? But yeah, it's much better quality than I was expecting for a $145 boot. Um, like these actually look like legit good quality leather. I was kind of expecting a much cheaper leather. I mean, this isn't like top quality. This isn't like what you're going to get on the USA made version. But this just is far better than I was expecting. Like, I have Wolverine boots. Wolverine's what I typically use or wear um, if I'm wanting a cheaper boot. Um, and the leather quality on these are better. Like, you can, like, it's hard to explain. When you get, at least in my experience with a Wolverine boot, you can, like, fold it as soon as you get it, and it kind of creases and cracks. So you have to put oil and stuff on it. Whereas these just do like leather's supposed to. I mean, you can even do the scratch test. Like, these are legit. The stitching and everything in the toe looks nice. Around the edges is nice. I noticed some of the stuff people complain about, how it's not stitched in here. I don't personally care. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be nice to have. But what are you really expecting for $145? It's a $145 boot. I mean, yeah, it would be cool to be able to get these resewed or resold or whatever you want to call it. Um, but are you really going to if you pay $145 for a pair of boots? I mean, I don't know. That's just me. Um, plus, depending on your job, I mean, can you even really do that? This is kind of chintzy. Chintzy's not the right word. You could tell there's some filler on the inside, kind of like this stuff, like the mesh. But I guess, I mean, you would want to. And what I mean by chintzy is like, you know, stuff like that, where, I mean, you can pull that off. But I know this is coming off bad. I'm trying to make nitpicks at them, and I can't. Like, that's probably the cheapest feeling part of the boot. It still feels fabulous quality for the price. I'm just saying that's probably the cheapest feeling thing on here. Like, even to this right here, that is just a chunk of leather. Like, generally when you get boots, that's, I mean, it's a piece of leather there, but it's like thinner and crappier, if you know what I mean. I generally wear pull-on boots, but I've always dug the Marin look. I like the old school Thorogood type boot look. Was it mock toe or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, all in all, like, I don't have any complaints. I have noticed the laces are kind of chintzy. I mean, I'm sure they'll hold up, but they do kind of seem crappier quality than, you know, I would like. Again, $145 pair of boots. I don't expect perfection, but if I'm looking for complaints, these do feel crappy. If they hold up, I'll let you know, but right now, as a lace for a boot, I don't have high hopes for these. The tongue feels super great quality. I don't know if you can tell, but on the side of the tongue, it's kind of like pleather, I guess you would call it. It's not real leather, but it's not plastic either. As far as, I mean, I know pleather is basically plastic, but I'm just saying, like, it's not this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like just pleather. It's not. It feels good. It doesn't feel crappy. I like it because it gives you a nice transition when you pull the tongue out. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna do something. Sorry, I forgot that I was gonna make a comparison in this video. Okay, so things that I like about these boots compared to another boot. This is a similar boot, similar price range. I'm trying to hold it weird because I don't know if I have like dog crap or something on it. But this is a similar boot. Actually, probably about $50 cheaper. I think it was like maybe 80 or 90 bucks. But these are Caterpillar brand boots. Same company that makes Wolverine. This is an unlined boot. But these boots kind of made me want to get these boots. Reason being is I found out a lot of stuff about these boots that I didn't like in a boot that made me get the boots that I purchased. Like I like everything about these boots, but I don't like unlined boots. Now I just found that out after I bought these, and I don't like the sole on these boots. I mean they hold up, they're comfortable, but they're hard and soft at the same time. It makes zero sense, I know. And what I mean by that is like, look, I've only worn them a handful of times. These are my grass cutting boots. I don't know if you can even see that. But like they're chewed up on the sides, right? So they're really soft in that aspect. Because I've only wore these maybe 4 times. But they're all chewed up on the side. But when you wear them, it doesn't feel as soft as that looks. If that makes any sense. I know this isn't a review on these. I'm just telling you what I didn't care for to see if these are better. Because if people like these or whatever, they're broke, they can buy these. These are good boots. I'm nitpicky. There's certain things I don't like. Hey, sorry. Oh. Yeah, anyway. Same kind of chintzy laces. They've been holding up. They're fine. But, again, I've only worn these like 4 times. And I don't care for unlined. I mean, maybe it's just these boots in particular. I don't know. I've wore unlined boots before, but they were pull-ons. But just one pain in the butt headache thing for me when I put on these boots is, since this is unlined, just straight up leather, when I go to put my shoe on, I wear mailman socks. There's white crew socks, but when I go to put them on, you stick your foot in. This right here grabs your sock and pulls it, and then throughout the entire day, it's kind of almost like the same thing as Velcro. You can just feel it doing this against your sock and your ankle, and I don't like that. And I've only ever had that problem with these unlined boots. Everything else about the boot, as far as the unlined part on the inside, is fine. It's just this. Like, if I could find some mesh or something to sew it onto this, I'd be fine. But I didn't like that part about these boots. Another thing that I'm going to have to get used to is with these, if you can tell, since they're unlined, they're a lot skinnier in the overall build. You know what I mean? Like, it's a smaller boot altogether here. Whereas these are puffy. But again, I think that's just due to the waterproof thing that they do, the liner. But I got the waterproof thing because I wanted waterproof boots, but also it's got the thing on the inside. So when I put my sock on, I don't have that problem. And then if y'all want to see, here's their toe or foot thing that they do that everybody asks about, but nobody ever really shows. So their double foot thing they do. So this is in the very bottom, right? I think it takes it from like a standard size to like a single E or something, they say. This is in the bottom. It's just a paper thin piece of foam, I guess. And then here's the actual insole that's above it. And to be fair, that's an actual freaking insole. Like, that's not junk. Like, there's some thickness to that. That's that's going to last you. It might not last you long. I go through insoles like every month, but compared to like what you usually get in a pair of boots, which is just this, it's going to last you. I mean, that's thick. So that's a nice insole. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't show that. I haven't actually tried them on yet to assess if I need to take all this crap out. Um, I didn't think it was important to the video, so I didn't care. Sorry that I'm snotting on film. I just sprayed some stuff in the house, and I have bad allergies, so it's kicking my arse. I think I got these back in. I can't tell. Nope, I didn't at all. Come on, there we go. Yeah, so all in all, I mean, they go back in easily too, which is another thing I like about lined boots. And again, this is just in case. Sorry, I know that was disgusting, but yeah, I'm dying. But another thing about lined boots too, it may not be for you, it may not be for me, whatever. But putting insoles in suck with an unlined boot because this grips as you're trying to do stuff. These not so much because they're kind of wider built. It kind of just falls into the boot. But yeah, like if it wasn't for that, I would love these boots. I still like them. That's why I wear them to cut grass in. But like, I just don't like the unlined aspect of them. And also, these look so super dark. Because I waterproofed them. I put oil and stuff on them, ink oil. So this isn't actually what these boots look like new. If you're wanting a pair, I will tell you what the style is, but I don't know. Oh, they are wide width. I've always felt they were wide. I didn't order wide, but yeah, I just know they're the cat boots. Hey, cat. But again, it's not about those. I just kind of made my decision on buying these based off of what I liked and disliked about those. Again, I got the liner. Another thing I'm going to talk about and try out is a lot of people say that the lined version is super hot because of the liner. We'll see. I think it just depends on what you're doing and it depends on the person because these over here aren't lined, but my Wolverines are lined and my Durangos are lined. And I'll wear those in the summer with jeans. I have no issues. But I have heard some people say that these are ridiculously hot to only get these if you work outside in the winter. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think it realistically depends. Like, I get it. If you're working inside a warehouse with, like, work pants and a work shirt and you have to physically wear a uniform, I don't even know. In case y'all don't know, I hear people. Which is weird considering I have no neighbors. But, go get some cold cuts. But yeah, I guess if you had to wear like a complete uniform with pants and stuff like that, maybe if you're inside a warehouse. The gig that I'm going to be doing, I don't have to wear a uniform. I can wear regular clothes and shorts and stuff, so I'm not too worried about it. But we'll see, because I've heard that a lot. But feeling the inside, like there's nothing about the inside that makes me be like, oh god, these are going to be hot. Like it's puffy and comfortable, but it's not like super 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 thick. Like, my hunting boots or anything like that. Like, I mean, I don't doubt that if you wore these in the winter, your feet would be warm. But I also don't feel like these are going to be so warm that you could just rock the boot, if that makes sense. Like, you would probably still have to wear, like, a wool sock or something in the winter with these. These aren't going to just be perfect overheat boots, Like, I don't know. I think it's people just being picky. Let me since I haven't even put one on yet. I got my Bellman socks on right now. Don't judge me. See if we can do this. So I can go ahead and comment on the overall fit. Oh, that feels good. Holy crap. So another reason that I invested in these boots, again, it's not because of the Facebook crap, but I heard they have a fast break-in period. And I've worked in a warehouse long hours before, and one thing that I did not like when I did it before was having to break in boots. Because, yeah, working on a hard concrete floor is good to break in a pair of boots, but it's not good for me. Excuse me. You can break them in fast, but yeah. Do you want to? You know what I mean? And so everybody and their brother basically has said that these have a very fast break-in period. So, I mean, they feel good. Let me take out the thingy. Hang on. Save some time. I know I'm whatever. Okay, so I went ahead and took this out because, I mean, they were comfortable as is, but I was just curious how much of a difference that I would feel. So, yeah, I like it without it. They fit with this in it fine, like no complaints. But even though this is like so ridiculously thin, it makes a huge difference. It's really weird. Um, like this is a couple millimeters thick, but like the feel of the boot just from taking this out, it makes it feel like your foot actually sinks into the boot versus when this is in, it feels like your foot's raised. That makes any sense? Yeah, I heard a lot of people complain and said these boots were like ridiculously wide out the box. Like, even though you don't order a wide size, that they're wide as is. And I didn't get the wide. I got the regular. What does it say? Just the regular D to E. So the regular, not wide version. You can order them in a wide version and then make them even wider by taking out the sole. I got the regular version that goes from regular to single E. And right now they're in basically single E mode. Yeah, hang on. I'm going to be stupid. But, I mean, that's a comfortable boot. I mean, I know I'm not walking around and working, but, like, that's nice. Yeah, so far I like the thingy out of it. I'll wear them a couple of days without it, see what I think, and if I think it needs to be tighter, I'll throw this in. But, yeah, overall, I think I like it without it. So, I'm also going to go ahead and start wearing these. Like before, my old man shoes. Because I'm cool like that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start wearing these, like, daily. Before I start my job, just to kind of break them in, whatever. Just to see if it needs it. Because breaking in a pair of boots on the job site, or where you're going to be working or whatever, it's always going to be faster than doing it day to day. And I get that most people that are buying a pair of work boots are going to probably buy the work boots and then go to wear them at work. But I am just curious to see if the break-in period is as fast as most people say it is. And I feel like breaking them in my everyday life versus breaking them in on the job, you know what I mean? Like, it would be more of a fair representation. If I wore these 12 hours on a concrete floor in a warehouse, by the end of the shift, they'll probably be broken in. That's fair to say. Whereas if I wear these just out and about every single day, we'll see. You know what I mean? Plus, it would also be nice to have these already broken in for when I do go to work, because why not? Yeah, everything about these are nice. Like, I just had this on my foot. My foot wasn't dying. Again, I'm not walking around working and overheating, but I could still feel coldness on my foot. So the whole, these are so hot, don't wear these if you work in the summer. Don't get me wrong, if you're an unlined person, rock the unlined. But I wanted waterproof. Um, I mean, I guess in theory, a lot of people wear the Thorogoods that aren't waterproof, and they swear by them being waterproof. So I can't say from experience, but I'm assuming that you could rock. Hang on, sorry. I'm gonna assume that the Brunt unlines are probably going to be about the same as Thorogood unlines in the aspect of waterproofness, because at the end of the day, it's kind of just like this boot. It's just a piece of leather between you and the outdoors, whereas this is like leather and padding and whatnot. Like I think 100%, I want to say these claim to be waterproof, but I could be wrong. I never had any issues with them leaking. I will say though, but I also oiled them. But yeah, I never had any issues with getting my feet wet. I wore them plenty of times to get wet though. Um, I did not want to oil these. I don't know if I already mentioned that. One, because I like the color out the box, and generally when you oil a boot, it darkens them. That's why these look like a dark brown chocolate colored. It's not like these boots were this color when I got them, and now they're like a dark brown. And I didn't want that in these boots. I like this color with this. And I know I'm weird, but I like what I like. Um, but also I wanted to give the waterproofness or whatever you want to call it a shot. Because in my opinion, if you put wax and oil on a boot, it's gonna be relatively waterproof. Hang on. I don't know why I keep having that sneezing fit. But yeah. In theory, if you wax and oil a boot, as long as it's leather, it's going to be relatively waterproof unless stuff like down here fails where the stitching and stuff is. But for the most part, it'll be waterproof. So I really wanted to test the waterproofness out of the box to see, because, I mean, it says waterproof. I paid for the waterproof feature, which is the liner, but still. I wanted to see how waterproof they actually were. One thing that does bug me about boots like this that are waterproof is this, like the leather isn't waterproof. It's just leather being leather. So the leather, in theory, is still going to soak up water. It's not going to bead off of it like you would if you had an oil or a wax coating. It's going to hit this, turn dark, soak in, and then you're going to wait a couple of days, and then it's going to fade away and go back to this. I don't like that. But I wanted to be fair and try and see if these boots are actually going to be waterproof. And like I said, I just like the way they look out the box. So, sue me. But yeah, so far I like everything about these boots. I mean, they're nice. All resistant, slip resistant, non-marking, EH. I think that's electrical hazard. So, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. They got composite toe, steel toe, like all kinds of stuff. It's pretty sturdy boot right there. I know a lot of people complain about the sole on these. I get it, but I also get why they didn't do that. So, I guess I'll explain that too before I get off here. Again, long video, but it's hard for an ADHD person to stay on topic. So, for instance, these boots, the sole was all one piece, okay? It was all one chunk of foam, all the way slapped on, right? These are not. This is two pieces. It's the same kind of basic sole. This right here, big thick piece of foam like the other ones. But there's an outer piece that I'm assuming is just more durable, glued on. I don't know how well you can see it, but from like right there all the way back is one piece of foam, and then like this chunk up here, all the way up here is another piece of foam. And my guess is this under here is a lot softer than this up here. So that way, this gives you more cushioning when you're walking, a lot more give and like shock absorption. And then this being glued on is your non-slip, non-marking, oil resistant piece that they also put on there, but it's also more durable. But what reason I bring it up is a lot of people complain about this coming off or this being an issue or the fact that this isn't all one chunk of material. I haven't worn them. I haven't, worked in them. I don't know yet. But my assumption that I'm making beforehand is they do that again. So this is a bunch of foam that shocks absorption, whatever crap. It makes it easier on your feet where your heel is. Um, but also it's a good way to cut costs. And I know like the people hate to hear that, but like it's $145 boot. Like in theory, it makes the most sense with still trying to keep costs down because if you had like a whole Vibram sole glued on here, it would cost more, but also it wouldn't have this foam here to pad you. And that's one of the things that Brunt has that a lot of people like is comfort right out the box. These are supposed to be the most comfortable boots that most people ever wear. And I feel like that's due to this because this has it, but it's not durable because it's just foam. So you have this, but you have this protective layer. And I mean, depending on what you do, I mean, that's not super thick if you can see it. But depending on what you do, that'll still last you 6 months to a year. Um, and I'm fine with that because, I mean, unless you spend like a ridiculous amount of money, boots tend to last me. I think a lot depends on what you do, honestly. Like, I mean, if you're working 15-hour days in an oil field or something, you're probably going to go through boots. Whereas if you are like me and you're going to be working in a factory, just walking around on concrete floors all day, I probably could get a year at least. We'll see. Um, but that's another complaint that I think people have is these boots don't last long. And it's like, what do you expect? Like, seriously. Like, I think a lot of people expect a lot out of these boots because of the commercials, but at the end of the day, seem to forget that they're still only a $145 boot. Like, for instance, I should have pulled them out here and showed you my pull-on Wolverines. I wear the floor hand model, the pull-on floor hand model. I've had those boots for 3 years. They're beat to crap, but the sole's barely been touched. Like if you look at the sole, like you can't even tell them worn. They're just nasty and dirty, but you can't like there's no wore off slippery parts. The boot itself's like got chunks that missing and lines and dirt and what boots look like when you wear them. But I've had them for 3 years, but I don't work in them. Those are just my everyday because I'm a boot guy. Those are just my average everyday going out and about. If it's muddy outside or if I got to do something in the yard or whatever. Those are just like if I'm weed eating, like I just throw them on. If I go outside in the middle of the night because I heard strange noise and I got to grab my pistol, um, and see if there's a coyote or something out here, I throw those on. You know what I mean? Like I don't work in them as far as like I don't go to a 9 to 5 and put those boots on. Those are just my average everyday boots. But I've gotten 3 years out of them and I still probably could get another 3 out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it just depends on what you do. I know probably somebody in an oil field or something to wear that exact same pair of boots and maybe get 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like mileage may vary. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do with these boots. And then they say, oh, they're junk. Because they say they're going to last and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, well, what do you do for a living? Because the dudes that I see that are just doing normal work, like welding and working in warehouses and being mechanics, they're fine. They're getting 6 months to a year out of these boots. They're having no issues. But the dudes that are working 15 hours a day, every day, on their feet, doing like really hard jobs, those are the people that are complaining. And it's like, well, yeah, you're doing a ridiculous amount of work, but like, are you really getting much longer out of other boots? Because I've heard the same people say the same things about like Thurgood boots. Oh, my Thurgoods are better. But I know people that wear Thurgood boots and maybe get a year out of those, and those are like $300. So we'll see. I didn't want this to be a 40-minute video, but I try to pack information into a video, and I don't edit because I can't. Realistically, I can't. But yeah, I wanted to just go ahead and give my overall opinion and thoughts beforehand. Another thing I wanted to point out too that I didn't point out, a lot of people complained about these. I think like the original ones they came out with sucked or something, and they changed them. But like they're just your average, everyday grommets, hooks, whatever you want to call them. Like they do their thing. They say Brunt on them, which is kind of neat. But yeah, just that there. But one thing that I've never seen, this could just be me, but I've never seen this because I'm used to these style, just that are straight up hooks. They also have holes in them. Like originally, I think there was holes in the boots, but those might have been the ones people complained about. But I don't know if you can tell. They have holes in the center, so now you can lace them through. And it's kind of neat because if you're one of those people that, complain about lacing your boots up every time you get them on and you don't want to have to do the thing, you can do that. I personally don't mind crossing them and doing it, but I'm going to try it just because my boots have it. I don't see these coming off, but again, it happens. I've had $300 pair of boots where these have popped off. It happens. So I'm not going to fault the boots, but I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, these are much better quality than I was honestly expecting. The leather's better quality than my Wolverines, and I've had my Wolverines for 3 years. Obviously much better quality than these boots. These are still like legit leather, but these were only like $80-$90, and I think that was regular price. So, but yeah, you got this in the back to help pull them on if you need it. I've never used it. I just use this, but if you need it, you got it. I don't know. Like I said, I know this is a super long video, but if you got any questions now about these boots that you want to ask me while I'm trying them out and actively wearing them before I give my final review video, go ahead and comment. And be like, hey, are they still comfortable? Hey, did they break? How long did they, whatever you might have questions about these boots, because I feel like the truth needs to be said. A lot of people, like I said, are on one side or the other. They either say, oh, these are amazing for the money, or they're complete garbage. I don't think they're either. I think it all boils down to what you do in them. I mean, they're great looking boots for $145. But, is the break-in period true? Are they really the most comfortable boots ever? All that kind of stuff. Like I said, if you're working 15 hours a day in the oil field, these aren't going to last. I don't expect them to. But again, if you're just a dude working in a factory or a mechanic or a welder, I mean, I know a guy right now that is a welder. It's been all over the place, all over Texas and back. I think he got like a year out of them. I mean, you could tell he wore them. Like, there's even a chunk right here where they went smooth from him wearing them. But, I mean, he got a year out of them. So, just depends. Mileage may vary. We'll see. Sorry about the long video. It is what it is. Next video.